And there is this constant struggle that was there between the local Portuguese, British, and the local rulers. So the rulers of Gujarat, for instance, the Sultan of Gujarat had more control from Daman Diu to all the way to Bombay. Anybody who had a navy could fight off the local powers. Bombay is an ice-sheltered natural port, which increases its maritime capability.
But in a way, lockdowns have been part of our city, access wise. You just can't go to some parts of the city. Like you couldn't just come to Anushakti, or we can't really go into BPCL, something where you used to go for your internship, right? Like I can't just go there. At the same time, you have people coming from outside, attacking and entering, whereas the people who are stopped are the ones living inside. Inside people don't have access, outside people have access. What do you think about that?
It's a very funny thing because a lot of times we've encountered this exact thing where we've had this sense of distrust amongst our own people. So for instance, CST also opened up to people only maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and that building's been around for more than 100 years, and that's something to ponder over, that the headquarters, which could have as easily been accessed by anybody, in spite of the security threats, continued to remain inaccessible to common citizens. We have been too protective of some of the things which we could have easily thrown open to citizens and definitely involved them. And again, it brings us to that same point, right? Like, when decisions are taken for the city, how involved are the citizens?
Yeah, because there's that whole, the right to the city is one of the classic books, right? So who decides?
So for instance, if you were to zoom into Shivdi, you see this Shivdi Fort, and it says historic 1680 fort with water views. Before we go to the Shivdi Fort, I would like to highlight this greenery that you see around, which are the mangroves. An essential component of the island ecosystem, which protect us from strong winds, tidal surges, and also are excellent CO2 reserves. And they are as diverse as a tropical rainforest. And they protect. If you zoom out, and you will see these patches of green all across Bombay, especially the interior part city. One of the reasons why we have never faced a cyclone of sorts is because of these. But they are essential to the fishermen, because fishes lay their eggs in these protected areas. So if you see the Shivdi Fort, it's like a small outcrop into the sea. And Shivdi rose into prominence. Actually, it's actually an industrial backyard of sorts, because if you see across the creek is, of course, BARC, but also Tata Power, BPCL, and so on. But the sudden appearance of flamingos, attracted a lot of. It's not like they've been coming here for a long time, but suddenly they just appeared one day. And the fort was, sort of established in 1680. Back then, the British had a small, maybe like a band of 20-25 soldiers posted there. So in about 1682, they asked a farman, or a pass, to trade freely. And the governor then was a guy known as John Child, and they were denied that farman, and they realized that they will not hesitate to take out the British sword against the Mughals. And at that point in time, Aurangzeb was the last strong Mughal king ruling in Delhi. He didn't hesitate to capture some ships which were passing by in the harbor there, and they incidentally belonged to a person named Siddhi. The Siddhis, if you actually, to go to the Siddhis, I have to take you back. If you can zoom out a little bit further to the south. Can you search for Rajapuri?
Oh, yeah. Here it is. Yeah.
And can you see the fort?
Yes, I can see the fort. Yeah.
I think it'll say Murud Janjira Fort temporarily closed. And you can see what a beautiful fort that is, with two freshwater lakes, ponds in between. Yeah, this was the home to the Siddhis. Now the Siddhis are these mercenaries which are brought in from Africa, who settled in India.
So Gujarat area somewhere, right?
In Gujarat area, in the perfect. And there are people of African origins who are, now Indian citizens, who speak fluent Gujarati, and but their roots are, they trace it back to Africa. If you come down to Karnataka, there's a place called Yadapur, where again there is a significant Siddhi population who speak like this mixture of Marathi and Kannada, and that the language is very unique. But the Siddhis of the ones that I'm talking about were the kings of this area. They habitually ransacked Bombay, and as you can see, it's not very far from Bombay. It would maybe take about 2.5 hours by motorboat. So a little bit more by sailboats. So John Child captured two merchant ships which belonged to the Siddhis.
Right.
And he kidnapped them, and he asked for ransom, which was the Farman. And this infuriated the Siddhi, and the Siddhi actually sailed. So guy called Yakut Siddhi, he sailed with about 6,000 men up the coast all the way to Bombay. And I think we'll have to go back. Instead of attacking anywhere here around Kulaba or Gateway or any of those areas, he went all the way to passing Wadi Bandar. He went to the Shivdi Fort.
Oh.
And if you stand at the Shivdi Fort and you look away, look afar, you can see to the distance, the island of Garapuri, which is Elephanta Caves. And it's this nice calm view that you have. And in the middle of the night, about 6,000 men, so this large fleet of ships with the Siddhi flag hoisted, they arrived at the Shivdi Fort. And the captain of Shivdi Fort, with its small band of 20 men, ran across and sounded an alarm talking about the Siddhi attack. I mean, you can imagine the Siddhis arrived and they ransacked the city.
Wow.
So if you zoom out a little bit from there and move down south along the coast, passing Hay Bandar and Darukhana and so on, you will see something known as Mazgaon Garden. It's now named after Joseph Baptista, who was a prominent citizen. But this is where the Siddhi came and he ravaged this fort. This was the Mazgaon Fort. And he took over and for a year ransacked the city.
Wow.
And if you go further down to the south where the Asiatic Library is, right behind the Asiatic Library was the governor's residence. And for a year they kept pounding it, but through diplomacy and through military might, they could keep warding off the attack. And Sir John Child definitely was badly beaten up, but was not taken out from the fight. So after a year of occupying the city, for the longest time that the city has been under siege,
Really?
For at least a year, the city was under siege until they brokered a deal with Aurangzeb and said that not only they would, pay for the damages caused by Siddhi, but also not interfere and let them exit in an honorable fashion. For whatever it's worth, the East India Company could ward off that attack for a year, and it did not end into the end of the East India Company. But it just always fascinates me to think that just what if the East India Company would have been completely defeated in 1669. The next about 250 years would have been very, very different. And I think history as we know it would have been very different had the siege of Bombay succeeded. As a historian, it is difficult for me to take sides and say that, because if I talk from the point of the city, then the city was ravaged anyway. But from a more nationalistic point of view, I would have thought that it would have been better in many ways for the colonists to have been defeated by a local king. There are records of citizens of Bombay fighting against the Siddhi. Little knowing how it would have, because it was an attack on the city, and it was not like they banded with the Siddhi.
Right.
The idea that everybody is an outsider. Again, the idea of India is not yet established. Please remember, this is the late 17th century, and what India stands for is not clear. There's no idea of India.
Right.
The idea of India only emerges after 1885, when people from various parts of the country start to envision and see the bigger picture.
Right.
And put aside their differences. Just what if somebody had said that, okay, using the Siddhis we will, oust the foreigner, and but for them the Siddhi was also a foreigner who kept ransacking their ships in the Mazgaon harbor. It is a very interesting event, and this little small port in Shivdi, which is next to a dargah, which is a Sufi saint's tomb, is this obscure piece of history that is, lying hidden away in what we call the Eastern industrial landscape of Bombay. History of Bombay, history of India could have been very different. Had the siege of Bombay succeeded.